Hi, I am on my way to another girls' camp, young women's camp, whatever you want to call it, camp. And I was at one last night, and I just wanted to share some thoughts. First of all, I'm pretty sure my car is only running still because God knows it needs to get me up mountains that are 90-degree angles to speak at girls' camps. It's a miracle, honestly. And every time I drive to a girls' camp or a youth conference or anything like that, I am just shocked. First of all, there's amazing camps high up in the mountains. So if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna drive out past Park City, park my car for those that live in Utah, and start walking up a mountain, and I'll find a camp to stay at and hide out at. But in all seriousness, last night I came home from camp super late at night, and this happens every camp season. When I'm doing youth conferences and girls camps, I have the same thought. And it's this. I am in awe of our youth leaders. And in the LDS church, it's a volunteer organization. So, like many churches, the Sunday school teachers and the youth leaders are volunteering their time. Every time I go to a camp, I just seriously pray to God for the blessings to be poured down on these youth leaders that give up their vacation time, sleep in tents. I think specifically about in the LDS church that oftentimes, if not all the time, every summer, you're either planning Trek, youth conference, girls camp, Boy Scout camp, whatever, or all three. And many of these camps that I speak at, or these youth conferences, the leaders have contacted me months ago. And so sorry to the 10, 12 requests I got last month. I love speaking at girls camps and youth conferences, but if you could schedule me as soon as possible and not a few weeks before, I always feel bad when I can't get a group in, but that's a side note. Anyways, I just am in awe of what leaders put into the prayer, the preparation, the seriously pleading with God that the speakers and the activities will support their youth. And last night I was just overwhelmed again with these leaders were in tears afterwards because they were so grateful that God had shared with me what to share with these girls. And I didn't know these girls. I don't know what their struggles are. I usually get a list of ideas of what the issues are and try to go to prayer in the temple and prepare and pull from what I feel like will help. But it's a miracle to me that the Lord is so mindful of the people I speak to, and I try not to get in the way. And I just want the young women leaders, the young men leaders, youth leaders in the community, youth leaders in other churches to know today I'm calling it National Thank a Youth Leader Day. So would you join me in that? Would you reach out to the young women leaders that do girls camp for your girls, or the scout leaders that are helping your boys, or the youth leaders that are helping with camp that you're sending your kids to, and thank them, even a note or a Diet Coke, or I don't know, or just a really heartfelt thank you, because they're leaving their families and they're sleeping in sometimes really extreme places, and they're driving their cars up these mountains and planning the food. The food leaders last night, I just wanted to cry. I was so inspired. This older couple, and they had made teriyaki steak and fried rice in a camp, with no kitchen. And I just think it's such a miracle what a volunteer army can do in the world. And my church is not the only church. Churches are functioning on volunteerism. Communities are functioning on volunteerism. Your kid's soccer coach, your you know, Girl Scout leaders, whatever it is, I just think I am in awe of youth leaders. And I will say this, I think youth leaders get their butts kicked. If my mom's watching, she's going to be mad I just said that. But they deal with self-doubt and struggles and fears and stress, and they still show up. And I think sometimes they get even more opposition because they're trying to show up for teenagers. And teenagers are hard sometimes. I think they're awesome, but they're hard too. Last night I was with this amazing group of girls that have lived through some rough stuff. And some of them, the walls never quite came down. And they still have 2 days left of camp. So guess what? You know, those walls are going to come down eventually because they're away from cell phones and Netflix, and they're being eaten by mosquitoes, and they're doing crafts and hanging out. And there's something about that experience that opens people's hearts. So I just couldn't drive to another camp. It makes me want to cry because I just love youth leaders. I just love them, and they don't always get thanks. They get eye rolls, they get tired, they get frustrated, and sometimes they hear from parents that criticize too. And I just think, thank a youth leader today. I don't care how you do it, but do it. Take them a Slurpee, write them a note, send them a text. Let them know you appreciate them giving up their summer, sleeping somewhere else away from their family, sometimes using their vacation time from work so they can go serve at a camp during the summer. And then they turn around and do it again. And they do it again. And I feel so blessed that my kids have had some of the greatest youth leaders. They know who they are. I hope they're watching. I will tag and share them. The young women leaders in my ward took my daughter and all the young women on a hike last night. Away from their family, you know? And they do that every week, and they plan Sunday meetings. And then they're making sure they're emailing me the packing list for youth conference and girls camp. That's a couple weeks later. And I don't think that we say thank you to each other enough, and it makes a difference. And I hope the young women's leaders and the youth leaders that have helped my kids over the years know how much I love them, I honor them, I appreciate them, and I'm on my way to another camp. Trying to get through traffic and up a mountain, and praying the whole way that God will speak to me in a way that will speak to these girls, but more than anything, that these leaders feel the fruits of those labors. Like, you don't see it, right? You don't see for a long time sometimes what that lesson is that you taught or that camp you organized did for a girl or a boy. So I hope God lets you know that He appreciates you. He knows your sacrifice. And even if the kids don't thank you and they roll their eyes and they drag their feet and you're being bit by mosquitoes and you're dirty. My hair still smelled like a campfire today. Oh, it's a happy smell, but I get to go home tonight, you know, and sleep in my bed. So I'm trying to do my part, but there's so many people out there volunteering and helping our kids in the world, and I just wanted to shout out to them today because they don't probably hear thank you enough. So thanks for all of you that joined me. And listen, I'd love it if you would share this video with, if you don't know how to say thank you to your youth leader, maybe tag them, share this video and tell them you appreciate what they're doing this summer for your kids, what they did last summer for your kids, and what they do every week for your kid. We need a tribe, right? We need a village and a tribe to help us raise our kids, because I know when my kids hit parts of their lives where they're not sure their parents have any clue, it's a youth leader that says the right thing and helps them move forward. And I have needed other adults in my kids' life to step in and be that example. And so I love you all, and I love summer, and I love the change of seasons, but it's a busy time if you're a youth leader. And so I wanted to thank my youth leaders today. Thanks so much.